Hi everybody, welcome to another update on the Stock Screener. The last comparison that we are going to make is Cerrado Gold compared to SOMA Gold because of a suggestion. I know Cerrado Gold, I was a fan of it, but I'm not sure why this stock has actually dropped from 1.5 to 0.8. So that's cut in half. So not sure why actually, because this is actually a very good company and I will show you why. So what we always do is create an NPV calculation based on free cash flow after tax, interest and capex. And why are we going to do this? Because nothing else matters, only cash flow matters. So when I was at university, there was a CEO of BASF, which is one of the largest German chemical manufacturers. He told me that the only thing that matters is free cash flow. And that is something that stayed in my mind. So let's start with the financials of Cerrado Gold. Net income is negative. First red flag, it has always been negative. So not sure what's happening here, but in 3 years they haven't actually made a lot of money. Equity is going down, so it's lower than 3 years ago. Revenue has gone up, but yeah, the operating earnings have not gone up, so it's pretty flat and net income is lower. So what's happening here? They are saying that costs are coming down, 1,200 for this year, next year 1,100. But why aren't they making any money? Gold is at 2,000 right now. And if AISC is 1,200, so why aren't they making any money here? It's negative. Well, I looked at the financials, the earnings statements here, and I calculated the cost myself. So this was production, for example. I calculated it on 2 occasions, one in 2023, one in 2022. I added all the costs from here, like operating costs, royalties, general expenses, and I got a cost of 1,600. Here as well, 1,700 per ounce. They reported 1,100 and 1,500. So it's always higher. And if you add the interest payments to it, then it goes even higher to 1,900 per ounce. So that's another red flag. Not sure why there is this discrepancy, but that explains why the net income, the net earnings are below zero. But okay, Cerrado Gold isn't about this project. Cerrado Gold is actually about the gray area here, the Monte do Carmo in Brazil. This is actually what you are buying. This here is not that important. That's in Argentina. This one is low cost. So let's look at this project. So Currently, the valuations for the coming years is not that high, maybe 20-30% upside at current prices and AISC that they report. But the real upside comes from the Brazil project, which comes online in 2025. And you can see here how high this upside is. There's a very high upside. So let's take a look at the NPV calculation. We start with 70,000 production, 90,000, and then in 2025 it shoots up to 160 and then 200,000. So that's actually a huge change, and the cost will also go down by almost $300. So $300 lower. So that's why Cerrado Gold will be doing very well in 2025. Capex is going to be very high. It's a project that needs 126 million. So that's being subtracted here as capex. Normal capex is probably around 10 million per year. I put 20 million here because they would have two projects. So here is the largest expense in capex. Interest as well, they have a lot of debt, 50 million I think, and plus this new debt that they probably need to finance, then we would get 170 million debt. Yeah, probably there will also be dilution, so maybe less debt, but shareholders will get diluted at some point to get this Brazil project in construction. So when we add this debt, then there will be interest payments. So I added this as well. And then tax rate 35%, I think. And then you get this cash flow. The first 3 years, you are not going to see a lot. You will be negative cash flow. So these 3 years are going to be very risky because you have a lot of debt and you're not sure if you can actually get that project going. It could be execution risk. A lot can change. The gold price could come down. So it's very risky, this project. But once they get it going, then the cash flow will start pouring in. Enterprise value is at 126, that's here. So actually it's good value if you believe these numbers, of course. That's a big if. But yeah, looks like a good investment if you take into account that there is risk in the first 3 years. Soma Gold, however, is also going to have a lot of cash flow, but it's already de-risked because we already have this production going. So Soma Gold is now earning money, and each month they will get more of the cash flow coming in. That's not the case with Cerrado Gold. So to recap, Soma Gold is currently at 70 million enterprise value. You will get your money back in 2 years. Risks here are the short mine life and jurisdiction. They are in Colombia. Cerrado Gold is at 126 million enterprise value. And you have a lot of risk here in the first 3 years. So first of all, you have the red flag of the AISC reporting. Second, we don't have permits yet. So could be that they get no approval and then the stock will collapse. Financing, they need 126 million to fund the construction. So if they don't get it, then this won't happen. Also, they can dilute the hell out of you. Take that into account. Execution risk, they haven't built it yet. So it could be that the grades are not as they should be, or there could be delays, capex overhangs, especially when you have 126 million capex, it could go up 30%, and then this whole project will be high risk. There will be capital overhangs. And also high debt. They already have 50 million debt. Add 126 to that, and you have 170 million debt. So high debt. And I forgot one thing here. They are only at PEA stage. So all of these numbers, take it with a grain of salt. They don't have a feasibility study yet. That will come later on this year. So if you compare these two companies, I would still go for SOMA Gold. For Cerrado Gold, I would wait for 3 things: feasibility study, permitting, and financing. I want all of these 3 things before I will take a look at Cerrado Gold, because this is too high risk. SOMA Gold already has production, already has cash flows, so much safer than Cerrado Gold, especially when you look at these net earnings that are in the negative. Who knows, that project will never come into construction, and then you are in deep trouble. So that was the video, and I'll see you in the next one.